And so we'll provide you with a link before we publish it to the public.
Oh,
Yes.
you're real nice.
So
Yeah.
you can say yes, no, or I don't like that at all.
We're just not
Okay.
gonna send it out there in the ether and just, hey.
Well, we don't want to have unhappy clients.
Oh,
Since you're our
I'm a
first-
client?
Yeah, you're since our first client.
Yeah.
we don't
Boy,
wanna
I'm a
have-
client.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't even want to be the first client. That's
Well,
too
we don't-
much pressure.
We don't want to have any negative Yelp reviews or
Oh.
anything, and Angie's list, right?
I would have gone with guest, not client, but that's just me.
At least you didn't say patient
Yeah.
We can go with guest. Okay, we'll go with guest.
or inpatient.
Yeah. Inpatient.
Inpatient.
Okay,
That's
we'll
it.
go with
Inpatient.
And welcome to the third episode of the Get Off Our Lawn show. So today we have a special guest, but before I get to her, let me tell you who we got today. I'm your host, Dave Jackson. My co-host, he's the chips to my ahoy. He's the fluffer to my nutter. He's the jam to my jelly.
Mhm.
He was also the zither player for a Bengals tribute band, Mr. Dave Seymour.
Wow, I've moved to Zither now.
You play the zither now.
Next,
Now
I'll
you
be
got-
playing. I'll be
now you
playing
got
the
the setup.
Zamboni next, right?
Yeah, you play a Zamboni. So we have a very special guest today from the class of 80, Mrs. Sherri Crispell, and you will not use an H in that name, or you'll be flogged and heel hauled if you put an
But
H in that name.
Right.
Right. Formerly Sherri Case, now Sherri Crispell, back in our hometown of Dryden. So she's our first guest. Yay, Sherri!
Yeah.
Oh, crowd noise.
The crowd noise.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we're just gonna start with the basics because our show's based on since we went off the football field when we graduated, what has happened to you since then? So we're just gonna go ahead and start with that, and we're gonna do a couple other segments today. We're gonna do a couple segments just to give you a heads up. I'm gonna read a bio from my yearbook, and you gotta tell me what teacher it is.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'm going to have you see if you remember what you wrote to me in my yearbook, which is, by the way, hysterical. It's so funny, and it is so you. We'll do that. We might do a couple other things, but we want to start with your history. So you just graduated in 1980, walked off the field. Go.
Yes. So I would like to report that I cleaned the mud off the heels.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Now, this is something you two probably didn't need to do, but I had heels on. So, when you trudge through the football field, like spikes, right? My football
Yep.
spikes needed to be freshened up a little bit.
But I don't remember any particular weather or rain that day, right? This is just
Nope.
regular mud,
Yes. Yes.
Standard mud.
as opposed to ankle deep mud
Yes.
or
And
snow.
as a fun fact, that field has just recently been changed to artificial turf.
Really?
Here in the big city, we've gone big time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right. So
Is it organic?
So you cleaned your mud off.
Can't tell you, Dave.
Okay.
No clue. I'm not up on the I'm not up on the AstroTurf ingredients, lineages, or any of that stuff.
All right. Very good.
Failed chemistry. Nope, didn't even take chemistry.
Didn't it? Huh. I would have hit you for a chemistry girl. Okay. Anyway.
No,
All right. So you walked off the field. Okay.
All right.
go.
smarter than I look. Yeah, what did I do? I was already employed at a pediatrician's office at the time of graduation. I left there, went to work in an ad agency downtown Ithaca. They did some market research stuff and ad agency stuff. That was interesting.
Mhm.
Moved along. Where did I go after that?
How long
I
were
went
you-
back to
How long were you in Ithaca for?
2 years, maybe
Oh,
2
okay.
years, I'd say 2.5 years.
You weren't living in Ithaca though, right? You were still living in Dryden?
I was still living in Dryden.
Okay. All right.
I've only lived in 4 houses.
Okay.
I don't go far. but my elevator still goes to the top. I'm just telling you, right? Okay.
Oh,
that.
Let's see. I went back to Dryden School.
To work in the front office?
I worked in the greenhouse. Do you remember the
Oh.
house in front of the high school?
Yeah, like the
Oh, yeah.
educational, what do they call that? The board or
The board, yeah. What did you guys call it?
I call it the mystery house. I didn't know
a
what
mystery house, right?
I don't know what
Yeah,
one.
there,
I just parked my bike next to it. That's all I remember.
right.
So what did they do
Right.
in the mystery?
Remember Randy and Ron and Nelson painted their names on their parking spots right there? Remember that?
Oh,
I
want
don't remember that. And tell us that story then.
Well, I wasn't part of it,
That's okay.
and I don't think I should say last names, should I? I don't know.
No,
You know
no,
who these
just-
fellas are, right?
Yeah. Just go with the first names.
Yeah, Randy, Ron, and Nelson,
All
who
right.
drove to school every day,
Yep.
painted their names on their parking spots.
Did we have assigned spots?
No, but
Okay.
they did.
right.
They were,
But they did.
they created their own VIP parking.
Okay, yep.
And as I recall, Sam Cooper didn't appreciate it very much.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Where were you when that was happening?
I wasn't part of that clique.
I could have been in chemistry class. I don't know.
Oh, odds are.
I was in
Odds bad too. And so, what was I gonna say? So, what kind of activities actually took place in the greenhouse out front?
The greenhouse is where the superintendent's office was, the payroll people, the business administrator, his secretary, the treasurer, and the director of special ed.
All right, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
What did
so
you do?
I did that for a couple of years, 2.5 years. Then I got married.
Mhm.
Took a job in an insurance agency in town.
Oh, hang on. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. What year did you get married?
86.
86.
Okay.
86. Then you took the insurance job. You worked for Bill Bailey, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so 86. 86.
I was in the insurance land from 86 until 93 when my son was born.
So
Okay.
if I remember right, didn't I get some insurance from you? I was on the way to California and I needed some quick insurance to get us safely to California. I almost swear it was you.
What was it, like trip
Could have been.
insurance?
Could have
Yeah,
been,
well,
or might have been Laura Bowker.
No, it wasn't Laura.
No.
I'm almost dead certain it was you.
Could have been.
Yeah,
Could have been. I don't remember it. Sorry.
it's all right.
Was it short-term insurance, Dave?
Yeah, I just needed something. They gave it to me for free. I was like, I have a car. I just came from England. It's not insured. I need something to carry me over until I get to California. And Sherri hooked me up. She went and talked to somebody someplace.
Wow.
He goes, "You're covered for the next 90 days." And I went,
For 3,000 miles and 30
Yeah.
days.
or whichever
Right.
comes first.
No free oil changes though.
Yeah,
Right. No maintenance.
No.
Just great insurance. Yeah, that's all it was.
Wow, what a deal. Could you imagine an insurance company doing that today?
No, not at
No.
all. No.
Yeah.
And she handed me a policy and we headed to California.
And you went to California?
Boots,
There you
scoot, boogie.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, so your insurance, go.
Yep, I did. I was in the insurance land.
Mhm.
I had a baby. I gave up my insurance land world and was a stay-at-home mom, but I had a little side gig. I did home parties for a decorating company.
No, you did not.
I did.
What
How
kind of
did you-
decorating? What
Is that
kind
a
of
trick
decorating?
question?
Yeah. Tell us one of the strangest decorating schemes you've seen.
Oh, no, I can't do that because I might offend people. But,
Oh.
I sold things like this thing that's behind me.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
You know, framed art, candles, that kind of thing. I built a sales team. I earned a couple of cruises, a trip to San Diego, no,
Wow.
San Francisco.
Well, you were cooking then.
Yeah, I was doing big things.
You were good at it.
I
Where'd
was
your
good
coo-
at it.
Yeah, all right.
I had a sales team here. I had a sales team in the Oneana. Over in that neck of the woods. You can't really get to Oneana from Dryden, but you can.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, and then the company went belly up.
When did that happen? How long did you have that gig for?
Oh, that was, okay, let's see. I started in 92. Long pause, hold please. Back to school to 08. 92 to 08.
Long gig then.
Yeah, yeah. Fun. I met a lot of great people, saw a lot of places I never would have seen.
They went belly up.
They did. It was a family-owned company and they went public and then, you know,
Well, hang on.
the family wasn't running the business and it,
Mhm.
Okay, so since they went defunct and went belly up, you can say the name of the company. So I
home,
really
home interiors and gifts.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it just so happened around the time that that was happening, it was in the bankruptcy courts. There was a job opening at Dryden School. I went back.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I've graduated from Dryden 3 times.
I'm not letting you off that hook real quick. Hang on. Hang on. I know how much you enjoyed that job now. See?
Really?
Yeah, I know how much you just dug that job.
Yeah, yeah.
So you were basically administrative. What did you do? What was your
I was an assistant to the special ed director.
Okay.
So I generated all the ed plans for kids that get their own special, you know,
Yep.
their own accommodations.
Right.
Yeah, and actually I was working on the preschool side of it. There, oh my gosh, there's so much stuff that happens in the world that so many people don't know about. As far as, you know, no. As far as
Decorating. And,
services to kids and,
oh
you
yeah.
know, yeah, lots of stuff happens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get a lot of insight to that with through Pamela, my wife,
Oh, yes.
because she's a school counselor for many years.
Right.
And
Right.
so we got a lot of the behind the scenes activities.
Right.
Right. So I can appreciate the volume of work, services, and interesting parents that you meet along the way.
Yes. Yes. And interesting. Yeah. Yes.
So-
Yes.
So you put up with that job for how long?
Okay, I went back there in 08 and I left there in May of 2012. So another 4 years.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah. All right. And I had nothing to do with that. With you leaving.
Nope.
Right? Nope. nothing to
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. So I left the school for the 3rd time, you know, once as a graduate, twice as an employee, and have found myself at the town of Dryden. And I'm currently the payroll clerk and assistant to the bookkeeper there. So I'm a numbers girl every
Nice.
day.
Yeah. And wow.
My commute to work is roughly 45 seconds, depending on road conditions.
You slide down the hill or not into.
Correct.
If you can slide on one hill and coast enough up another just to get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many?
Nice.
So I want to. So I know you and I had a conversation a while back when you used to live on Lake Road.
Yes.
Right. I want to hear that. I want to hear that story again. That was a good story. How you got that house? You got a good deal on the one because you live in Don Alexander's old farm, old house. You got
Now.
now. But you had some sweet deal. Something happened that worked out really well. You told a great story back then about how that happened.
Okay, I don't really remember, but yeah, the owner of the house was a relative of my brother-in-law.
Okay.
My brother-in-law and your brother-in-law are brothers.
Correct. We are related. Sherri and I are
We're
related. We're related.
kinfolk.
Kinfolk. All right, I'll give you that.
Yeah. And we
It's
were
a
looking
trap.
for a house to buy. The let's see, it would have been his aunt. No, I don't know, some relative of his anyway. An older woman lived in the home. And we went to see her and she was interested in selling it to us, but was trying to get her ducks in a row and
Mhm.
not quite, it wasn't on the market yet, blah, 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 but she was in the process of getting ready to sell. And she passed away.
Oh,
So I got held up a bit by the son and getting through the estate process. And hang on. I'm in a video chat, babe. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Pan to the left.
what are you wearing? No.
So she died, the house is available, the kids.
She died. We had to wait for the estate to be settled. We
Okay, right.
eventually ended up buying it, and then my husband and my stepson and I moved in. And then I had a baby, and the house was too small.
So how
Okay.
long were you?
So
How long were you in that lake house then?
we were in the Lake Road house from 88 to 96.
So was this house, 'cause I don't remember where this house is at. The only reference I have is, well, obviously Dryden Lake and obviously Gary Rumsey's house. Were you upstream or downstream of the Rumsey house?
No, upstream of the Rumsey house.
Okay, all right.
You know where Mark Danningberg lived?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, he was, I call that like the point.
Yeah, yeah.
Come back toward the village just a whisker.
Oh, okay. All right.
So like we were between Mark Danningberg and Keith Lane.
Oh, okay, all right. One of my favorite kitchen spots back in the day, Keith Lane.
I don't have a reference. All I know is the what was it? The salmon were up going as upstream, right?
Yeah, perfect reference. You nailed it.
All right. Okay.
So you might be thinking about the story of us coming to this house.
Oh, that's the story you need to tell now.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna get right. So you're gonna get out of the Lake Street house now, right?
Too small.
Yes.
Too small.
So, but yeah, it's too small. Well, yeah, kind
Yeah.
of is too small.
Too
Two bedroom
small.
house, 2 kids.
Yep.
That's a little too small.
Mhm.
One Sunday afternoon, my father-in-law appeared at our house, and which was unusual. And he had been over here at the Alexander farm looking things over because there was going to be an auction.
Ah.
And so my husband, my sister and brother-in-law, relative in common, Dave,
Yeah.
were at our house. And so Randy's dad and my brother-in-law came over here, and my sister and I were, I don't know what we were doing, just hanging out, right?
Mhm.
And so they came back a while later, and Randy said, Dad wants you to go look at that house. I said, for what?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said, well, he thinks that somebody ought to buy it. And I just laughed. I'm like, okay. So my sister and I came over here and we toured through the house.
Mhm.
Mrs. Alexander and Mary, I think, were here at the time. We
Okay.
toured through the house and I went back home. Okay. So there was to be a property auction like 3 days later, and I was working that evening. I had a show. Randy went to the auction. I got home from the show. Randy's usually in bed and he was up. And I said, so how'd it go? And he just didn't say anything. And I said, well, how much did that house go for? And he didn't say anything.
This is where it gets good, Dave.
Yeah. And I said, well, come on, right? And he said, I bought it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's cool. So now we'll have 2 mortgages. So we had 2 mortgages for a period of time. Randy didn't sleep much.
Okay.
We ended up here, but it wasn't, it was really driven completely by my father-in-law. It wasn't like we were even really looking for a house or.
Yep.
So it was this complete happenstance, things fell in the right way. complete
Just
fluke.
randomly on a Sunday afternoon, go look at this house.
What-
Okay,
Now, they were having an auction? I mean, were they selling the house and having a property auction? Was it all for grabs? What
all of it. They had they had it all surveyed and were, had parceled out the farmland.
Okay, all right. That's what I was curious about.
Had sold some of it, but there was still quite a bit of land.
Mhm.
And so we ended up buying the house proper and the land across the road.
Mhm.
So we
Okay,
have 27 acres.
good chunk of land.
27 acres. We live in the village of Dryden. We can't have any livestock.
Okay,
We started.
Right?
Woo.
Right.
Wow.
So that's the story.
Wow.
Do you raise any wheat or trade off? Can you sublet your land for people growing hay and stuff?
Some of it is farmed for hay, occasionally corn by a local farmer, and it just really to reduce our mowing
Exactly. Why?
maintenance.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why not? Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
When we first came here, an acquaintance suggested that we plant Christmas trees and start a Christmas tree farm. And I just looked at her like she had 8 heads. And now I'm thinking, geez, I really should have done that.
You still can, right? You
But-
still got the land.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Technically, yes, she could.
Yes, she could.
Correct.
If you were into
Correct.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. If you had the motivation, the want to do that kind of thing.
If you had the inclination, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Fair enough.
So
That's my story.
that's your story. That's a
So
great.
now it's really a truck farm. We have a lot of tractor trailers here.
How's,
That's what we grow here.
how's the pigeon count? I know you guys closed off the windows, right? Up on top?
Yes, it's not nearly as high as it used to be, but if you need to, come and visit, you can. There's still some. Mhm.
Pop me some flying rats.
Right.
Pingin rats. There you go.
Sky rats.
Yep. What did you just call them? Gutter rats?
She said sky,
Sky
rat.
rats.
Oh, sky rats. Okay. I was like, I missed the sky part.
I can't wait to see the graphic for that. Sky
Yeah.
rats.
There'll be a graphic. Trust me, there'll be a graphic.
I think so.
Many keywords can turn into things.
Right.
Well, what's interesting about Sherri is, I mean, you and I go how far back? And we've got pictures of you and I in what, first grade, second grade in the same class. I mean, I think we go back to kindergarten, right? All the way back to the square one.
Yeah.
And
All at
see,
Dryden Elementary, right?
all
Yep.
the whole 9 yards from,
Yep.
But what's interesting is, so the Case family,
Mhm.
they're like a legacy family in Dryden. This is Dave's a personal opinion here. The Case family, when we grew up in Dryden proper, not like the Freeville, McLean, Hartford, but in Dryden.
Yep.
The Case, when you hear the names Case, Bowker, Fitzgibbons, Flynn,
Mhm.
that was like the legacy families of Dryden, and it was
Right.
that was a respected group back then. That was a group you didn't mess with. You didn't, her dad yelled at me once as I took a shovel off the front porch. And I don't even think he knew who I was. He might have, I don't know. But every time I see the name Case, all I think of is the legacy families of Dryden. So yeah, it's just a cool era in our time when we had all that stuff. It was just so cool.
So let me ask you a question.
Community. It was a community.
It was a community. Yeah.
Was the shovel incident, you were borrowing the shovel?
Okay, so the story is, even though it's the first showcase, the quick story is,
Yeah.
they're in the bank parking lot towards the left.
Yep.
When we have our big snow,
Mhm.
they'd plow all the snow to the one side. So that was a great place to build snow forts.
Yes. Yep. In the pile.
That was our go-to place to build tunnels and snow living rooms and snow dens and stuff. And we went there one time, and it was me, Joe Fitzgibbons, Rob Bowker, and I think that was 3 of us.
Okay.
And we went over there to do some digging, and we had some difficulty, and there was a snow shovel on their front porch. Like, he's not going to miss that for 15, or they're not going to miss that for 15 minutes.
But you were going to
Right.
return it,
Of course.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna
yes.
take it.
right?
No,
You were just
Hell no.
borrowing it.
Yeah,
It was not a practical joke.
I had to knock some snow out real quick, do some quick shoveling, and pop it right back. It's all
That's what I'm saying. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
All right.
just a quick fix, and then I got nailed. And he was not happy about it. And I mean, he didn't lose his mind. I didn't lose his mind, but it was a definite. I wasn't respecting the case shovel thing.
Yeah,
And,
no. I
Get off my
suspect
board.
that in defense of my dad, God rest his soul, I suspect his concern was that you guys were going to tunnel into there and get
well,
hurt.
see, that might be. That's not the sense I got.
Yeah, no, oh, I'm sure. But
Yeah, I'm
I
sure-
would
I'm
guess that
I'm
would be
sure
it.
it was about
'Cause-
kid safety. Yes.
Yeah, no, dad wouldn't have cared. You could have taken the shovel for a week. He wouldn't have cared. But yeah.
Right.
No, all right. It's all
I would
about
sooner
safety.
think he
Safety
was
first.
concerned about you getting buried alive or plowed up with the next batch or something.
That's my only story with her dad is the shovel incident in the park.
Okay, all right.
The hot
So-
shovel.
Okay, now you continue on then, Mr. Dave. That was
So
just detour.
yeah, but it was interesting because back then in town, but we weren't in the same group. I mean, we didn't hang around, Sherri, right? Because I was, on the James Street, the school side. But interestingly, back then we play entire games of hide and seek using the entire block, sometimes the entire town. We could do
Right.
that back then because
Mhm.
hey, we felt
Right.
the parents, would watch out for us. It was, it was one of those deals.
It was not a
Right.
time of a problem being in somebody else's yard
Yeah,
as kids.
correct.
Because we were hanging out in everybody's yard.
Yeah,
Right.
you guys doing the same thing over there in Freeville.
We did the same thing in Freeville.
Yeah, and your mom didn't know necessarily exactly where you were, but you knew by dark you had to be home.
Yeah,
Right.
as soon as a few lights came on, you had to be home.
Correct.
So
Yep.
yeah. So when I was researching through the yearbook, Sherri,
Oh, boy.
I forgot.
I was afraid you were gonna make me name that tune or name the song from the lyrics. And like,
No.
I will fail.
we're not doing
Okay.
anything. I didn't want to put you under that pressure.
We won't.
Okay.
There's no.
I forgot. I don't know why I forgot this. It's coming. I forgot that you were, the class politician, the vice president, the honcho, the top dog, the big cheese, numero uno.
Only our senior year.
Well, was this the
It was a
senior?
it was a big governmental overthrow.
Oh, I want to.
Her first foray into town politics, right?
Right.
How did that work out for you?
Well, made me what I am today.
There you go. Jobs were based on that experience.
See, I'm
Right.
looking at this picture of you and Miss Munson and Mr. Baki. I'm thinking, what kind of meetings did those three have?
Yeah. Did you guys have meetings?
Did you have
Probably.
squabbles? Oh, you got
Probably.
something. There's got to be something in there. Come on. You don't remember
Yeah.
anything? You're not going to say anything.
Yeah, no, there's, you block things and yeah. Mhm.
Dave, who was the secretary? Was Lori Munson the secretary?
No, I think she was the VP and I was the secretary treasurer, I think. Does it say, Dave?
It doesn't. It just says,
Who was? It was probably Phil, Steve Lisi, Lori, and Sherri.
no, it was just three.
Oh, it was the overthrow, Dave.
Oh my gosh.
It was, yeah.
Okay, all right. Did you take
The other
minutes?
years were Steve Lisi, Marie Matze, and
All it is
somebody.
review. It says the 12th grade officers, Lori Munson, Phil Baki, and Sherri Case.
Okay.
There
Yeah,
you
I'm
are.
familiar with the picture. That was one of my favorite sweaters. Anyway.
It's a nice, which by the way, which begs the question: were you ever bitten by a vampire or Nosferatu? Because you don't age. What's going on there?
Oh, stop.
What's your secret? Seriously,
Yeah. Get out of town.
I'm telling you.
First of all, I'll just tell you that I think men show their age more than women do.
I concur.
Just okay. And second of all, only my hairdresser knows for sure. That's all I'll say.
All right.
It's all that clean, healthy living.
All right. So you got, yeah, you did a fine
Yep.
job. Whatever
Thanks.
you're doing, keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Thanks, sure. Okay. Can I get a prescription for that?
Yeah. So Dave reminded me of something earlier. I haven't found, I didn't peruse this much of the yearbook. You played flute?
I did. From 4th grade till,
Probably 12, right?
no,
Oh, you gave it up.
9th or 10th, and then I played sax for 2 years.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Ooh.
You go, girl. Now, if someone was just like drag a saxophone in your house right now, could you play?
I couldn't play.
Mm,
And you know what?
You
Teresa,
know,
I totally forgot that you
there's
did.
that whole lip thing, right? But once I got, I think I could. I mean, I think I could.
Oh, wow. Do you
Now,
miss
Yeah.
playing? Do you miss playing?
Absolutely do.
there you go.
Yeah,
Oh.
I played in the community band one summer after we graduated. You know how
Uh-huh.
they used to have that adult
Yep.
band thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the local bandstands. I thought Freeville had one and Dryden had one, maybe.
Yeah,
Did you guys
Yeah.
play over at the manor where didn't you guys play over at the manor where my mom lived?
Over the
might
manor.
have.
Okay, yeah. I don't think so.
I don't recall that, but
Well, you know who you remember Kay Georgie?
yeah,
Her dad was a really good drummer. And he was always in those community bands. And we did a couple of pit bands for some
Yeah.
of the Dryden play productions
yeah.
where I got to hang out. with them.
Footlighters.
Yeah, for Footlighters. And I think we did a couple of shows. I want to say Anything Goes. Anyway,
Okay.
so let me remember this right then. Who were the saxophone players in the Dryden band then? Because it was, I remember Phil, right?
Phil,
Phil and I, and then
you,
Lori.
Lori,
Yep,
me.
yep. You played for a couple of years. Was there another one in there? Craig Kirk played sax for a little while, didn't he?
In elementary school, I think. I don't know about high school.
It's
There
probably
was a
junior-
girl,
probably junior band.
Jenny. There was a girl behind us, Jenny Ruhanen.
Okay. Huh.
That's quite the horn section right there.
I'll have to go scratch my gray matter for a little
Yeah,
bit.
well, Dave, flip to the band page.
Oh, gee. All this pressure.
I know.
Because I remember you marched for a couple of seasons too, right?
Yep.
In the Dryden marching band. We had those uniforms from 1942.
Yes. Wool.
Pardon?
Wool.
Yeah, the wool 1942 band march. I don't know that they'd ever been laundered or not.
No.
I don't
We
think so.
marched in T-Burg. And I remember literally peeling that off.
Oh, yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah, the steam would come off as you peel those things off.
Yes. It was like 7 miles in the heat with those uniforms on.
Correct. And we did a few football games every now and then.
Yep. Played
John
Star Wars. Remember that?
Yep.
Came from Star Wars.
Yep, I remember that. And John Godfrey hated marching band. He thought
Oh,
that
I never knew that.
he hated marching for the football games
Oh,
because
okay.
the football team got all the money, music department,
Yes.
nothing, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
And that's when we started marching in t-shirts and sweat and blue jeans.
Yep.
Sweatpants.
There was, remember there was a quick stint, like we did get some new uniforms. They were silky, white or satiny, white shirts. Yeah, we did.
Did we use them?
One season maybe. But you know what, the kids still today are marching in t-shirts and jeans.
There you go.
It's very sad.
It is very
But
sad.
Okay, so let me just say this.
What do you got?
Okay, senior high band,
Yep.
senior high band, which is
Yep.
here and here.
Yep.
Dave's in both pictures.
Well, yeah, I used to go to every picture.
He's got every picture. Didn't matter what club it was. He's in freaking tumblers, Sherry.
We would just hang out down there, you know.
Dave majored in photography,
That's right.
or
He was in
being
chess club.
photographed.
Yes. So
Well, I was
there
a
he
male. I was a male
there he is
model.
right there. I know you can't see it. There he is right there in the top row.
Modeling.
There he is again with showing his ass turned backwards to the camera.
I thought that was the stage band. That
It just says
Making-
senior high band. All it says is-
Making his parents proud.
yeah, make his-
yeah, oh my gosh.
Yes. Uh-huh.
My parents were afraid to go out in public.
I don't blame them.
They told everyone Dave was adopted.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, with the exception of with the exception of the female things, Dave's in every picture. He's in every picture in here.
Really?
Yeah.
I might have to pull that out and review.
7th grade band. There's Dave. What the
Really?
hell?
I was in the 7th grade band too, and the senior high band.
Yeah, you did them all.
I
Did
must have
you
been
just-
a mentor.
Were you in band all day long, Dave?
Pretty much.
Okay. Well,
Well, mostly we just hung out wherever the photographer was hanging out.
I see.
Because they'd go take pictures wherever of whatever group, right?
Yes.
A lot of times that took place in the auditorium. Sometimes. it
Right.
didn't.
Right.
And of course, his jazz band pictures, just totally professional.
Mhm.
I don't know what he's holding here. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. I don't think I can get to the camera. But Dave is holding, I don't think you can be able to see it. Too much
Yeah, I
glare.
don't think so. I'll have to go dig it out.
He's holding some long,
Oh boy.
he's like this. I'm not sure why. It's some
Oh,
sort of
boy.
rod. That's all I can tell you. That's all I-
All right, I'm gonna have to go dig those out and blow them
Yeah,
up.
redeem yourself, Dave.
Well, I don't know if there's any redeeming, but
We're past that point.
we'll have to go research what exactly those were.
Okay.
Right.
So, the podcast you haven't seen yet, Sherri, was one when Dave interviewed me, which we're fixing to post here in a day or two.
Okay.
And, I played the game with Dave of I read something out of his senior yearbook and he had to guess who it was that said it. And so I read
Okay.
it and I gave him the choice of
It was multiple choice.
I gave him
Right.
multiple choice. I gave him 4 people. I said this is either Lori Munson, Rick Page, Marie Motzi, or Sherri Case.
Okay.
And he nailed it. It was you.
What you wrote in my yearbook. And we didn't research this beforehand. He
What
just,
I wrote in you, Dave Seymour's yearbook.
Correct.
If you wrote Dave Seymour's yearbook, I read it and I
He
gave
read
him
it.
4 choices and he
Yeah.
nailed it. He said it was you.
Okay.
So with that transition, that segue,
But what did I say?
you'll have to watch the episode.
Oh, okay.
yeah, you have to watch. Yeah, that's a teaser. That's what they
Dun,
call a
dun,
teaser.
dun.
That's a teaser to watch episode 2.
Oh,
But
okay.
I'm not teasing what you wrote to me. I'm going to say it here now.
Okay.
Dave, best of luck in whatever it is you choose to do. Stay cool, and please remember me not as anything but a whore bitch.
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Love and stuff, Sherri.
Love and
Love and
stuff.
stuff.
Which is exactly what you said in Dave's thing too. Love and stuff.
See, there you
Oh,
go.
really?
Yep.
Hmm.
That was how you
Gosh,
signed off on the yearbooks.
Okay.
Love and stuff.
So when you said to me, we're going to talk about what I wrote in your yearbook,
Yeah.
I immediately had a vision in my mind of a photo that's in my yearbook that I couldn't remember if you drew on it or if Dave McCartney drew on it. Or,
Doug
Doug
McCartney.
but now that you've said this, I know it was you.
Oh,
But I
you're
will-
so full of crap.
I will pull that out and share that with you at some point. I don't know where my
What
yearbook
can I
is.
have possibly do wrong?
So,
You-
It's like,
so if
Okay,
you could,
do
if you
you-
could click, yeah, if you could click a picture of that particular item, that would be a great overlay here.
And
oh,
then
yeah.
can you gray out the face of the person though?
Absolutely. We can
Okay.
make it fuzzy.
Okay, because Dave, I believe you and I in senior lounge
Yes.
repeatedly had conversations about a particular person
Okay.
and said person was deemed poor bitch.
Poor bitch. Oh.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we'll definitely blank the picture out.
Yeah.
Now this has got me going because now, we're going to have to do some research here.
Okay, so I'm gonna find.
Mhm.
Oh, they don't do. I thought they did some teacher biographies. I guess they don't. That sucks.
So Dave, now you have to go to Sherri's senior forecast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. I did.
Yeah.
I did read that. I did read that.
Oh, I can recite some of it, I think.
Okay, well let's see how good you are here. Stand by.
I failed at it anyway.
Prophecies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're called, prophecies, huh? Or
Yeah.
predictions or something.
Yeah.
You didn't fail at it, Sherri. Life just took its own course.
Right.
Oh, correct.
Sometimes things come up and they
Right.
don't.
When
go
my
your-
ship came in, I was at the train station, shall we say.
Nice. I like that. I'm gonna quote you on that.
When the ship came in.
When
You
my
were at the
ship
train.
came in, I was at the train station.
All right.
All right, what you got, Sherri? Let's see what you remember. Go.
Something about, I was going to marry a doctor, maybe?
The word doctor is in fact in there. Yes.
There's the word doctor's in there, okay. And I was going to fly to Fantasy Island,
Oh, that's in there too. Nice.
Mhm.
and I was going to cruise home on the Love Boat.
Nice.
Sweet.
So here's what Case Sherri Lynette has. Codenamed Caser.
Kaser.
Caser.
I like that. I never heard that. That's great. I love that. You could have been an F-14 pilot. That could have been your handle. Work for an important doctor. Meet some
Oh.
really good-looking guy who will sweep me off my feet, fly me to Fantasy Island to live out my wildest dreams, then cruise home on the Love Boat and live happily ever after.
Okay, so some of that actually happened, but some of it didn't.
Good. So now,
What else you got there, Dave? I was
That's-
going to
that's
ask
pretty
you
much everything
what
wraps
was
up
some of
that.
the fun things that were going on in Dryden these days that come through the town office.
What are some of the fun things going on in Dryden now?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is there?
code word is fun.
Right,
Like there was a big fracking debate for a while, and then there was a big solar debate. I think solar farm debate for a while.
yes, yes,
Now,
yes.
are they arguing about cow methane yet?
Silently. Yes,
But deadly.
I see what you. That was good.
But deadly.
yes. There is a push toward big push towards solar energy.
Yeah.
Big push to stop using natural gas.
Natural gas.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Did that solar farm ever get put up behind the cemetery?
Did.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were upset about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It went up anyway.
Right. And there's also a big array between Route 13 and Ferguson Road.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, it's kind of like solar panel aisle now instead of Route 13.
Like, is that near the brewery or what's that brewery that's just next to Johnson Street now? There's you come back towards Dryden a little bit.
Hopshire.
Yep. that's it.
Hopshire. Yes. No, it's not that far. It's just,
Yeah.
Would be, where the VFW is?
Mhm.
Roughly across from there.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All right. Are beaver
Wow.
dams still a problem out there?
I'm not sure how to answer that.
You remember down in that valley between Freeville
Down
Dryden
in the
Road,
valley.
right
Yes.
along the railroad tracks that used to be then. There always used to be these beavers that would flood the field down,
Yes.
and they kept taking out the beavers, and they'd come back and they'd flood the field again.
Dave, that was so yesterday.
The
That's what
beaver,
I'm saying.
the
So
beaver-
last
the
week.
beaver scourge of 85.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if the beavers were still a problem below the solar farm.
Yeah, no, they don't like solar panels. They've moved on. I don't.
Okay, all right.
They're like, we're out of here. No natural
Yeah.
gas. We're out of here.
That's right.
Or
That's
are we
right.
supposed to? What are the beaver houses called?
Beaver den.
Den?
Is it
Yeah.
den?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a den.
No.
Well, I was going to say, how can they power their den without natural gas? So are they gone wind?
Hydro.
Hydroelectric.
Yeah, that would make sense because they're building dams for the hydro. Okay.
Right.
Okay,
Fair
so
enough.
I want to circle back to something real quick.
Oh, no, we don't circle back here.
With your back to the array across from the VFW. So my reference point is where Blanche used to live up there on Ferguson Road in that red house, which was literally, if you went straight across the field up to Ferguson Road from the VFW, was her house.
Well, how convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. So is it in between that? Is it in that section of field right there?
If I say the Dan farm, do you know what I'm talking
Okay.
about?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's where it is.
Wow. Well, that's fairly disappointing. All right.
The next time I'm out cruising around, I'll try to snap some photos and send to you
All right.
All right.
of that prettiness.
So what's your, I played a game with Dave about his earliest memory of me and my earliest memory of him on our last podcast. What's your earliest memory of us?
Where did we meet? Well, let's start. You and Dave go back to like kindergarten or something.
Yeah, I mean, we were village kids,
We're the village
not
kids.
village people, village kids. I wouldn't have a guess, Dave. Right, YMCA. I wouldn't have a guess of my earliest. My favoriteest is the bongo player at the hotel.
Yeah, that wasn't there. That was definitely not the earliest. Yeah, but you're right. That
No.
wasn't the story.
That is just my favoriteest all time.
Tell the bongo at the bongo story.
Dave.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Sherri. You
Okay.
tell-
So
Dave.
Dave contacts me. He's going to be in town to take care of some leftover banking business from his dad's era.
Right.
And so we decide we're going to meet at the Dryden Hotel and have a beer and chat.
All right.
So I arrive and Dave meets me, I think, in the parking lot, and we go in and we sit at the bar, and there's a sign. I think he warned me when I got there. Sherri, there's live music tonight.
Live music. All right.
I was like, wow, winner. We are winning. So we go in and we sit down at the bar and we each have a beverage and we're chatting, and he's telling me this story, and it was pretty interesting, but I won't. Anyway, and it turns out the live music was a bongo player and a vocalist.
Vocalist. That was it. It was a bongo and vocalist.
And were they doing music or like poem,
It was-
like
It was literally, Dave. It was like this.
poetic recitation?
No. You would think that, but it was not that. It was Roxanne.
You don't have to.
Roxanne. That's all it was. They were doing entire songs straight through bongo.
Bongo only. Female.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh my gosh, it was
Bongo.
horrible. And then
Was it
at one point, it was so slow that Dave and I thought that the dishwasher had probably gone to sleep, right? Because oh my God.
I think
We
somebody-
laughed a lot anyway.
I think somebody threw a chicken wing. It was just horrible. It was funny. It was just so funny.
Right.
It was complete songs. Again, Bohemian Rhapsody on bongos. It was-
Wow. What did they
Yeah.
do when they got to the opera part?
She just sang through, picked a line and sang through it. It was crazy.
I decided that night that I apparently never knew the definition of live
Music.
music.
Yeah.
Right. Interpretive dance and bongo. Right.
Bongo.
Right.
Okay. Fair enough.
So name all your teachers in elementary school, kindergarten to 6th grade. Go.
Mrs. Farrand.
I had the same one. We're in the same class. Afternoon or morning?
Oh, morning.
You know, Mrs. Farron was my neighbor, right?
We were in the same
Oh, probably. Yeah. Okay.
Mrs.
That's
Farron,
right.
Mrs. Farron was kindergarten. Mr. Farron was 5th grade.
Yes. First grade was Mrs. Roche.
Same class. We were in the same class together. Yep.
Second grade, Mrs. Van Order.
Same class. Look at this.
Third grade, Miss Van Arkel.
Wow. Nope. I had Mrs. Moon.
Fourth grade, Mrs. DeBoer.
Oh, okay.
Fifth grade. Oh, Mrs. Fitz.
Mrs. Fitzgibbons. Okay. Yep.
You
Oh,
were
I was in
across the
Fitzgibbons.
hall with Mrs. Witter.
Mrs. Witter, my only crush in school. Yep.
Yes. And sixth grade, Mr. Jenner.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Chris Jordan and I put him through his paces. It was his first year in Dryden. I don't know if it was his first year teaching, but
You were a hellion in 6th grade?
we were tough on him.
I
Now,
can't even fathom that.
So,
Chris
Yeah.
Jordan, my good, not you.
so we must have met in 5th grade then, because I had Mrs. Fitzgibbons as well.
Okay.
And that was the year I broke my leg and I had a cast on it. And I
Okay.
remember
And Sherri signed it and said, whore bitch.
Probably.
probably, and
That was your term, Dave. I adopted it. Anyway.
the other thing I remember about Mrs. Fitzgibbon's class is there were a bunch of girls that got in trouble. You remember those little things that you put on your fingers that like decided things?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd ask them a question. It was like a magic 8 ball, but it was like finger things.
Yeah. Yep.
There were a bunch of girls that got in trouble for those.
Oh,
Okay.
those scofflaws.
Yeah. Well, I can't name any names, but they were all cheerleaders.
Okay. Yeah. They're all
Not it. Not it.
Wasn't Sherri.
No, not Sherri.
Nope.
But Mrs. Fitzgibbons is a great class. I love that class.
Yes. She
was
used
a
to
great
read, she used to read stories to us
Mhm.
in the afternoon, the Tar Baby. You know, all those awful stories that you
Right.
can't read
Yeah,
anymore.
books you can't read anywhere. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting side note with Mrs. Fitzgibbons
Mhm.
is I was actually supposed to be in that class, but Mom and Mrs. Fitz said Dave Jackson shouldn't be in my class.
Right.
Oh,
I moved over to Mrs. Witter's class, which was far better, by the way. That 5th grade was the only grade I almost failed. I was aces all the way through 5th grade. I was like this.
Because you were too busy drooling, you poor thing.
I was a mess.
a mess.
She asked me to be the king flying monkey in Wizard of Oz. I was like, I'm the man. I'm your man. I'll do whatever you
king-
want.
I was gonna say, is this a pickup line?
I was like,
I was the king
Yeah.
flying monkey.
would you be my king flying monkey, Dave? Yes. Yes, I certainly will.
So were you the king flying monkey?
I was for a while. Then I lost a part to
Uh-oh.
I want to say it was Mark Dannenberg. Mark Dannenberg or Mark Gary. It was a Mark. It was a Mark.
Was this a production at elementary school
Yeah, yeah. Wizard
of
of
the
Oz.
Wizard of Oz?
And I was gonna be king flying monkey.
We were talking about Musk just earlier today.
What's I missed the transition there.
Me too.
Well, no, we were talking about the Cowardly Lion and the Musk and the muskrat.
Oh, right, yeah. Why does a muskrat guard his musk?
Musk. Right. Why does an elephant have a tusk?
That's right.
Or-
We're
I'm
not
just,
gonna get this on the Joe Rogan podcast. That's for damn sure. All right. So, do you have any? Certainly, since now we're your captive audience. Do you have any questions for us, or any weird memories, or anything you want to ask us?
there's got to be some band stories.
Which I have nothing.
Yeah. Well, the
Like
the
field
bus
hockey,
the
right?
bus trip to Canada, London,
London, Ontario.
and the phone booth.
I remember the phone booth. Tell me a phone
No,
booth
no, no, no,
story.
no, no, no. Wait a minute. Not phone booth. how many band members can we get in the bathroom of the bus? Were you in on that?
I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean much.
Okay. Okay.
You had a bathroom on the bus? Wow.
Yeah, it was a charter bus.
Yeah, we had a charter bus to go to Canada.
Look at you, big pimpin'. Wow. Wow.
And yeah, we went to London, Ontario, and then the London, Ontario people came to Dryden. It was a band exchange.
Yes.
So like
Yes.
1 year we went and 1 year they came back. Or I don't think it was the same year.
Such a cultural experience.
It was.
Yeah.
Them Canadian. They were
As compared to the senior trip, Sherri, was that a cultural?
Well, that was that was the question. Were you guys on the senior trip?
I was, he wasn't.
I did not go. Roger, Dick, and I went skiing in Vermont for the week.
Okay. So are you aware that on one leg of the trip, I was asleep on the train, seated next to my boyfriend at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I woke up, he had moved and there was someone else in the seat.
Oh. And it was a surprise, wasn't it?
It was a surprise. Yes, it was.
Was this someone a real person or was stuffed animal or?
No, it was a real person. Mhm.
Not inflatable. Yeah, okay.
Oh, Lord. What, and were you running through the orange groves in the middle of the night?
Let me tell you what happened to me, just real quick. My senior trip was completely ruined in 24 hours.
Okay.
Because I went to Wet Wild or whatever that park was.
Yes.
And I got 4th degree freaking burns. And I floated in the pool for the next 3 days. Because I was just so burned. That was just horrible.
Mhm.
Just horrible.
Horrible.
Mhm.
I completely ruined it in the first 24 hours of the trip.
I have a logistical question. How did you get on the train from Dryden?
We took a bus to New York City or Washington.
No, New York City, Grand Central Station.
Okay.
Yep. And that
Took a
train
bus?
was miserable. Miserable.
Well, I imagine that was just a yellow bus. That was like a yellow bus, right?
Yeah, I think we just took a school bus down, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we took a school bus
School
down.
bus. Yeah.
It had to be on the cheap.
Yes.
I've got a great picture of Lori Munson sitting next to Jeff Markell,
Mhm.
and Lori Munson's reading a Penthouse.
What?
Just the articles, right?
Just the article.
Right.
You're like
Right.
this, just like this.
That's fabulous.
We'll have to dig up that picture.
It's somewhere in this room here, someplace.
All right, well, you're gonna have to send me a copy.
That's great. It's a great picture.
All right.
Now, that would be a good interview for you,
You think?
Lori Munson.
It would be. We talked about that.
We talked about that. We were running the group, or the people that we knew in common and whatnot in high school.
Yes.
Oh, we will. We'll get to it.
Yep, because I had another one coming to mind too, but that's another time.
Oh. Okay.
It's a teaser. Come back later.
Love those teasers.
After the
Tune in next week, folks, when we'll
Right.
hear Dave say,
Yeah.
that's a teaser.
It's a teaser.
All right, Sherri, we're gonna let you get back to your evening. This has been awesome, and thank you for doing this.
Well, thanks
Thank
for
you for sharing.
sharing the Horbitch story with me, Dave. I will be sending you guys a photo very soon.
I'm here to facilitate all your mental needs.
All your mental.
You have no idea what you just signed up for.
Oh my.
All right. Well, thank you so much, dear. Nice seeing you. Much love to you. Tell Mr. Mantooth I said hi.
Will do.
Exactly.
It's always a pleasure to chat with you guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for chatting. Yep. Tell Randy hi.
And it wasn't too
Will
painful,
do.
right? Wasn't too painful, right?
No.
No.
She was a bit apprehensive, Dave, at first.
I would be apprehensive.
Well, because I don't, like I've only seen the first episode where Dave expounds all this knowledge and I was like, wow, I never knew that. Wow, I never knew that. And what did I tell you that
Oh, yeah.
nobody knew? Nothing.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all good. Had a great time. Thank you, dear. We're gonna
Thank
sign
you.
off.
It was perfect.
Bye.
Bye-bye.